Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's council meeting, Wednesday, March 10th at 6:30. I'd like to start by calling the meeting to order with the adoption of agenda with one addition going on as 9.8 regarding a report from the CAO that was circulated after the agenda.
Sorry, Dan, it was already on there as new business.
Thank you. May I have a motion, please? Thank you, Deputy Mayor. May I have a seconder, please? Thank you very much, Councillor Hudson. Any objection? I'm hearing none. Carried. Thank you very much. Any disclosure of interest tonight? I'm seeing none at the table. Thank you. So we're going to start with a closed session matter. Council will now take place for the purpose of discussing two matters under the Municipal Act, Section 239.
Matter 2021 Deseronto TBSB agreement. 15 to 68.
So may I please have a motion, please, to go into closed session to discuss those two matters? I have it from the deputy. May I have a seconder, please? Thank you very much, Councillor Hudson. I heard Councillor Smith and Councillor Clark chime in as well, so I imagine that's all in favor. Thank you very much. So what we're going to do to the public right now is we're just going to break out right now into a closed session meeting, and we will be coming back to regular council meeting. Thank you.
What was the electronic thing? That was...
Oh, that was my computer trying to read the agenda to me.
Okay.
Christine, please let us know once we're under closed session. Oh, we'll probably see the invite, right?
Oh, we're going into a breakout room?
I believe that's what we're looking to do. Yeah, she just asked us to join. Thank you. Excuse me. Who do we got? I got Christine, Norman, and Town Hall.
I think Kevin's still in there.
I don't see him yet.
It'll 11 seconds.
Will it just automatically boot him anyways?
Yeah.
Okay. There he is. Hey, Kev.
I'm back.
Hey, bud. Do you got your agenda for a regular
Yes.
session before we go live?
Yep.
We
Okay,
are
just want-
live.
Yeah, everyone's good? Cool. Let's do it.
We're live, Dan.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. We're back from closed session. Now we're moving on with the regular council agenda. I got the approval of minutes, 5.1, 5.2, pages 4 through to 10. Council's wishes. Oh, I got a move to receive, it looks like, from the deputy. And I've got a seconder in Councillor Hudson. Any objection? I'm hearing none. It's carried. Cool. Okay, moving on to, there's nothing for deputations or presentations and nothing in the variance report. We have the approval of the accounts, pages 11 through to 14, for the dollar value of $301,369.53. What are council's wishes?
I would move approval if found to be correct.
Thank you very much, Councillor Clark. May I have a seconder, please, for his motion?
Counselor Smith?
Thank you very much, Councillor Smith. Any objection? I'm hearing none. Carried. Thank you. Moving on to 9.1, we have staff reports. We have multiple CAO reports. Starting with the first CAO report, pages 15 through to 68. I'll give everyone the chance to get to it. I believe your hyperlinks will be working. Multiple items within the first piece of correspondence. Some of it is informational, some of it is actionable. There are some recommendations at the bottom from the CAO with respects to the content therein. One being that council receives a report and the council directs that the mayor and the deputy signs into the audit planning report and the CAO to sign the engagement letter. May I have a motion, please, to get this on the table? I've got it with the deputy. May I have a seconder, please? Sorry, thank you very much, Councillor Hudson. So all in favor to have it on the table? Excellent. Okay, so we have specific areas within. Deputy Mayor, you put it on the table for discussion. Sir, what would you like to discuss today?
Thank you, sir. It's the Bylaw Enforcement Service Board Agreement. Just a piece of clarification. If I will skim down to that agreement after I get through this audit stuff here. There was a point that caused me just to want a little clarification in regards to duties of the party. That's on page 61 of the package. Section 28, subsection A. It reads to enact or amend bylaws pursuant to the provisions of the acts as represented by the BESB. My question is this a directive once the committee decides that we need a bylaw, we pass that bylaw, or do we still retain our autonomy to pass the bylaws and have them enforced as we see fit?
Through me to the CAO.
Yes, thank you.
Yep. So do we have autonomy in this? I believe is what he's asking for.
Yes, yeah, this is an agreement that, you know, sometimes we're going to share the same types of bylaws, but we pass our own bylaws for Kevin to enforce, yes.
Absolutely. That's the point I was trying to clear, because I know we are all conforming together when we talk about building and inspection.
Yes.
We pass similar bylaw to make it easier for our inspectors, but the individual needs of these communities are different, and bylaws absolutely need to be different as a result.
Yep.
Thank you.
I would assume as part of this agreement too, that the bylaw officer would be coming to us with best practices from other municipalities and how their practices could help Deseronto too. So I think there would be quite of a benefit there as well. So anyone have anything further? Any questions or comments with respects to the report? If not, I can take a motion to accept the recommendations within the report. I've got that from the deputy. May I have a seconder, please?
I'll second that, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Councillor Clark. Any objections? I'm hearing none. It's carried. 9.2 CAO report regarding planning, page 69 through to 72. There's a recommendation within and some narrative with the count that council receives a report and gives direction to begin the process of engaging EcoView Consulting for planning services. Everyone will remember who EcoView is from previous conversations with respects to our planning services. Council wishes, I will take a motion to get on the table for discussion. Okay, I've got the deputy. Do I have anybody else to second that? Thank you very much, Councillor Hudson. So it's on the table for discussion purposes. Deputy, would you like to comment?
Absolutely. I'm pleased we're going with someone who is relatively local in Peterborough. That's good. I just want to clarify from the report, my understanding as a member of council is council has requested this planner in order to achieve certain goals for council as a first priority, and then support the planning in the municipality as a second priority. I'm looking at the report and it looks like we're heating up with requests. I just want to make sure we're clear on the goal of this is to engage a planner to get some of the long-standing council issues resolved first, and then have this as a supportive mechanism for our municipal staff. Also, just another sort of tied in, we have a history of getting tire kickers in Deseronto, people that are interested in development but never go forward with it. They kick the tire, they twist an ear of a counselor, they sometimes come for a meeting, they sometimes follow up, but then they disappear. I would hate to see this be used as a vetting process for tire kickers, because that will indeed cost the municipality money. So those 2 points through you to staff. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. So Christine, I think what the question is this. Obviously, we're going to vet these inquiries. I talk to people about development all the time. And often, like the deputy mayor said, they are just inquiring, they're finding out the interest. That would be a costly touch for a planner to address those concerns. I don't believe the intent of engaging this planner is to take away that vetting process at the internal level. It's more so to help execute the wishes of council once they've decided, yes, we want to move ahead with this discussion for development, or we've already moved ahead for like site planning and we're looking for some additional assistance there. I think what the deputy mayor is bringing up is the concern that our budget could easily get blown out by people who are legitimately just looking for or expressing interest, but not necessarily looking to develop immediately. So I believe that is the question, is just making sure that there will be a strong vetting process and that's how we intend on using this service. Christine?
Yes, it wasn't my intent to shoot every planning question to this person, but you have to understand that the tire kickers happen sometimes 3 times a day in here right now. This place is blowing up and people are wanting to develop, and I'm fielding questions on planning and what properties are available and so on and so forth. In between, I just received a box full of documents for the next rezoning for Mr. Asbestor with a development on Stanley and Dundas Street. And I'm still trying to set up the site plan, which we're hoping to happen this week, the site plan agreement discussions for the Green Street one. And I just need help. I don't have the planning expertise that allows me to guide us through this so that the I's are dotted and T's are crossed and things are done properly. So yes, I need help in this respect.
So,
That's fair.
so as far as site planning goes and legitimate development proposals like the one that you're talking about for Stanley Street, I would say that they would be excellent qualifications
The
for the use.
tire kickers go to the county first.
So but I think what is the concern is people who want to connect bridges to Forster's Island and throw casinos. Like those are things that we could easily say, I don't think it's going to work, or we're definitely, opposed to saying, let's incur costs.
So how about this? The county is our go-to. They are the ones involved in subdivisions and all of this stuff. There's always a pre-development meeting at the county. If it gets to that point, that is when I would engage a consultant to act on our behalf.
That sounds,
Does that make sense?
that does, but what I'd like to see is actually, I'm gonna throw it out to council, see what they'd like to see. Deputy, are you trying? Yeah.
Mayor, if we are having such interest, it doesn't negate the point that we need to get our council initiatives through that planning department first. The planner needs to be talking with us about Mill Street and Water Street properties. Those are our key municipal properties we want to offload with the development plan. That needs to be a priority, and it can happen concurrently. Like we could have site planning moving along as well. I think if that meeting's happening next week, we should have a conversation with what council really does need to get out of that site plan. Then, this is good. We have 2 planning goals. Let's work with that. And I think the quicker we get our planning and development committee up and running, that's going to be the key, right? Mayor, I think we get that planning committee up. We'll have a good handle on how everything is shaking down. It's new to us. I think as it's new, we're learning. Thank you.
Absolutely. I agree. It is new. It's a resource that we've had in the past, and it's a resource that we've asked for because of the interest being expressed in the community. I do agree. We have expressed as a council a desire to do planning on the Mill Street area, and that needs to be a priority focus as well.
Just so you know, I had a seriously interested party that may be coming through with a proposal on that property, and I'd like to be prepared for that as well.
Does council have any other comments? What are council's wishes then?
I move that we engage this planner as our planner of record for the time being. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do I have a seconder for that? Thank you very much, Councillor Hudson. Any further discussion? And as the deputy mayor said, now that we will have some planning staff that will be able to assist us, these planning meetings that we're going to start in Q2 will definitely have a few more resources to help see some of our goals and ambitions come to fruition. Thank you. Any objection? Hearing none? Carried. Next, we have pages 73 to 133.
Can I get a motion for the pre-development agreement as well?
I'll add that to my motion then, if that's focused.
I assumed the whole motion was to
Okay.
pick up the report and the recommendation within, correct?
Correct.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. So can Councillor Hudson, do you agree to that amendment to your motion? I'm not
Yep,
hearing
I
anything,
do.
so I assume that you do. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, moving on. 73 through to 133 correspondence 9.3 CAO report regarding modernization funding. Motion please to get on the table for discussion. I've got it. May I have a seconder, please? Thank you. Okay, so this is something I'm going to ask the CAO to reiterate in her own words the report that she's written for council's consumption. Thank you.
So I think it was a few meetings ago, the province announced more modernization funding. We had received a lump sum in 2019, and then we had applied for the phase 1 third-party service delivery review, and we were not successful. So now this is phase 2. But as I was reading through the documentation, it's saying we need to spend the money they've already given us before they'll give us more. And part of it is the province is wanting to make sure municipalities are, being efficient and finding ways to save money. The best way to do that is a service delivery review. And so I also think a strat plan with the way council is looking at planning for the municipality would go hand in hand with this. They can be two separate things and, but the money is also to implement some of the findings from the service delivery review in phase 2, but we haven't had the service delivery review done. So we kind of have to do that first. But I don't think this funding is going away. I think this is something the province feels strongly about, and they're willing to help us improve things.
So big and the small is that we're looking to engage using funds that have already been allocated for this purpose through
That's
previous
correct.
allocations or grantings of money, correct?
Yes.
Council's wishes. Deputy?
Mayor, I move that we move forward with this. I think it's a great idea. We need to get a service delivery plan and review done. We need to update the asset management plan and then a strat plan. Those 3 documents are key for any focused growth and movement forward. This is one of those pillars. Let's get it done. Thank you.
I agree, and it's consistent with the MO that our council has shown so far of tweaking our policies that we have, getting ourselves in alignment with strategic plans and asset management. So I think this is a very good thing, and I'm excited about it.
I would second that motion, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Councillor Clark. Any further discussion? Oh, I see the deputy.
One touch that I would love to see considered when we're looking at service delivery would be maybe blowing out of the borders of Deseret just a touch to see what our neighboring municipalities are already providing. Service duplication in the municipal sector is something that, costs communities time and time and time again. I call it the splash pad effect. One community gets a splash pad, the one 10 kilometers away gets a splash pad. Soon there are 30 splash pads within, 20 square kilometers. They each cost an exorbitant amount of money to maintain, and they're from kids from 0 to the age of 12. There could have been other ways that money had been spent for recreation and fun. So the idea is if we look at, what is already going on, maybe we find we have a niche. Maybe we find we have something that no one else is doing or it's undervalued. Maybe we can offload something with a service agreement with Tyndonega Township, for instance. Maybe we jump on their soccer program and they jump on our arena, that kind of thing. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm all about taking a look at what regional offerings are. We're part of a county. We're part of Hastings County, 14 regional municipalities. We pay dues to be part of that county. Let's take a look and see what is available to us through county resources, as well as we're kind of unique. We're a border town as well. So it makes complete sense, Deputy. I like your thinking. Any further discussion?
Are you
Sure.
happy with the RFP presented? Did it
Yes.
make sense for us? I thought it was pretty close to us.
Sorry.
I would say what I saw, Christine, and from my understanding of the process, I would say that it's definitely workable for our community. As far as for me to make any amendments to it, there's nothing that comes to mind for me specifically at this point. Deputy, you were going to comment?
If I might add a suggestion before we throw it out, can we give ourselves a week to dig deeper now that we have the full picture of where this is coming from? And maybe there is something we can add and maybe we'll just deal with it at the next budget meeting.
Sure, I can start amending the RFP and put it back in front of council for approval. Or
That would be awesome.
Or if you can just let me know
Mhm.
and I can tweak it accordingly.
So how about
Thank you.
this? Let's get a motion to empower the CAO to put something in Deserano verbiage with Deserano letterhead. We'll take a look at it. We'll give a yay or nay, and we'll start the process accordingly. How's that sound? If so, can I get that motion? I've got it with the deputy. May I have a seconder?
Counselor Smith,
Thank you very much, Councillor Smith. Any objection? Hearing none? Carried. That, I just want to announce, we just did something really good there. Good job. This is very key for our community. Okay, next, we have 9.4, page 134, CAO recommendation with respects to interim staffing measures. Recommendation, council receives report and council directs staff to engage with a temporary employee for the community center. Council's wishes.
So moved.
Okay, I got a motion to accept the report. I have a seconder with Councillor Hudson. Any further discussion required? I'm hearing none. Motion is carried. Thank you very much, Council. Moving on, we have the Deputy Treasurer Report, pages 135 through to 137, Council remuneration and statement of remuneration of expenses. You see it there. You see the value that the community gets for their council, $55,000 all in for the expertise that we're bringing to the table. What are Council's wishes?
I'll move that.
Thank you very much. Move to accept. I got a seconder in Councillor Hudson. Any further comment? Carried. Thank you. And then we have a report from the CEMC, pages 138 through to 146 with respects to the COVID vaccination rollout timeline, as well as the efforts made on behalf of our community through the CEMC to try to engage to get a vaccinations location here in Deseronto. As you see, attempts have been made. There are some challenges and barriers with respects to the vulnerability of the vaccine that the health unit is saying would make it prohibitive to have multiple locations like the one that we're being offered. But I'd like to throw a shout out to the CEMC for the report. It's a great report. I enjoyed reading it, and it looks like it kind of hit everything that we asked for. So can I have council, can I have a motion get on the table? I've got it, Councillor Hudson. I have a seconder in the deputy. Okay, Councillor Hudson, do you have any comment?
Yeah, just to kind of echo what you said, Mayor, I really appreciated the report, and I know the community emergency management coordinator position is something that we kind of were tackling there a few months ago, and it's really nice to see good efforts coming from the staff. As always, we have a great staff in Deseronto all around, but having this report really well laid out is kind of a kudos to having the right person in the position, and it's very helpful for what we're doing.
Thank you very much. Also, everyone sees that they've got the Hastings Prince Edward Health Unit anticipated COVID vaccination stages. That's even changing. That seems to be a rolling target. And they're saying fall, winter for certain demographics, that they're kind of expediting that and saying that it's going to be possibly late Q2, early Q3.
And this morning was
Sorry?
And this morning was announced that ages 60 to 64 can go to the drugstore and get the pharmacist to do it.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So inconsistent from
It's
the
evolving
provincial government.
daily.
So it just shows you how quickly this situation's changing, because this was last week. This is this week. Deputy, you threw your hand up?
It puts this on the agenda too. It reminds Hastings Prince Edward Public Health that, hello, we're part of your service area, and our urban population is bigger than Madoc, Marmora, or Tweed, or Sterling. So, it is putting us on the map that, we are interested. And as you said, Mayor, the game is changing all the time, with Johnson & Johnson being approved this week, with the pharmacies in Napanee and Frontenac and Kingston distributing to the 60 to 64-year-olds this weekend even. And I'd encourage anyone who wants to call. We are getting people vaccinated. I know MBQ did a fantastic job with their clinic. Many residents in Deseronto who are MBQ members got vaccinated. We are making a dent in this. And, when the Hail Mary comes and we're getting as many as possible, I can see the health unit maybe considering our offer down the road when they know they have the logistics to actually execute this. So thanks to Mr. Brunton for that. That was a great report. Thank you for reaching out on behalf of our community, putting us on record that we are very much a fan of getting everyone vaccinated as soon as possible. And we're going to cooperate with public health to do so. Thank you.
No, to that point, Deputy, it's always great when we can offer local resources for the area as well as our community. So agreed. With that being said, I have a motion to receive. I've got it with the deputy. May I have a seconder?
Counselor Smith.
Thank you very much, Councillor Smith. Any comment further to what's been had from anybody at the table before I move on? Motion's carried. Thank you. We have a report from the transit manager, pages 147 through to 190, with some recommendations that council receives reports. Informational. Council's wishes. A motion to receive from the deputy. May I have a seconder, please?
Second that motion.
Thank you very much, Councillor Clark. Any objection? I'm hearing none. Carried. Thank you. Moving on to 10.1, pages 191 through to 203, Quinte Conservation Minutes. Council's wishes. I'll take a motion to receive. I've got it with Councillor Hudson. May I have a seconder, please?
I'll second to your honor.
Thank you very much. So I have a mover with Councillor Hudson. I have a seconder with Councillor Clark. Any objection? Carried. Thank you. Just quick point of order. Gail, are you able to get every motion that we put out there so far?
Yes, I have been.
Okay, so moving forward, I will make sure that I'm calling out the names of the people. Thank you. Okay, next action items, page 204 through to 217, 11.1 County of Hastings regarding exotic animals. This has been a lot of work at the county level. This has affected many municipalities within the region, and this is more the county being proactive, well, a little bit of proaction and reactive. But I can tell you a lot of work went into this at the county level. Okay, I have a motion to put on the table. Okay, I've got it with the deputy. And seconded by Councillor Hudson. Okay, it's on the table for discussion purposes. Deputy, do you have any comments?
Thank you, Mayor. I see this is coming from planning. I appreciate the time they put into this. I would stress, though, I think planning, I would love to see our new bylaw for zoning as soon as possible, but this seems to be something that we need to take a look in. There are some impacts here. I know that we probably have some exotic animals that are kept as pets, and prohibiting certain things on this, like a giant rabbit, for instance, or a hedgehog might be problematic. So tonight, instead of reading this, I would just like to have us have a discussion about where we're thinking and the impact it would have on our family day when we engage Little Ray's Reptiles or something like that to come down.
Sure. So what would you like to see our bylaw officer take a look at this?
I think what we can do is, as a council, is there some things that we're just going to say, like, you know, what's like, some of this seems a little bit overreaching, and some of it is already kind of makes sense.
Okay, so where do you want to go with the conversation?
First of all, do we really need this bylaw at this point?
For our community specifically?
Yeah.
Great question. That's why I said maybe if we had the bylaw officer take a look at it and provide comment one way or the other, that might be, or we could receive this a piece of correspondence and bring it up at another time.
I think receiving and then having the bylaw officer provide comment would be a simple solution here.
Is that your motion, sir?
Yes, it is.
Okay, let's get that on the table. I got a seconder from Councillor Hudson. So I have a mover from the deputy, a seconder from Councillor Hudson. Any further discussion? I know a lot of this pertained to other municipalities in the northern regions of our county. And it was said specifically that you'd be surprised what animals are in your community. You really would.
I was gonna comment the same thing through you, Chair, if I can.
Sure.
I just think it's a good proactive policy to have, just in case there are some exotic animals running around in Deserona, which I'm sure there are. But just to make sure that we have bylaws that are up to date and current that kind of make sure people are safe. So I think that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I think the motion right now is to, hey, telling the bylaw, or take a look at this thing, take a look at it, see, make it Deseronto applicable, make sure that it's tailored to our needs specifically. The county's pretty much done all the work laying out the template and the format. It's just a matter of us vetting it a little farther and making sure that it suits the needs of our community.
I would
So
agree.
the motion is that we receive it and we ask for comment from the bylaw officer. I have a mover, I have a seconder. We've had some discussion. Any further discussion required from anyone at the table? I'm hearing none. It is carried. Thank you. Next piece of correspondence, 11.2, page 218. It's a request with respect to a memorial bench.
Hmm.
Have a motion, please get on the table for discussion. I've got it with the deputy. I need a seconder.
I'll second that.
Thank you very much, Councillor Clark. It's on the table.
Thank
Deputy.
you, Mayor.
Yep.
With our current Centennial Park, we have made a decision, previous councils have made a decision to go with particularly branded items, benches, lighting, garbage receptacles are all compliant within the same family of things. I appreciate the offer of putting this in the park. I think that would be very generous. However, it doesn't go with what we're currently going on in the park, nor does it go with Grafton Park. Would it be possible to have a conversation? Maybe this is something better fitted to Deseronto Cemetery. Also, I don't know who the local gentleman is. Is there a Deseronto connection? And we probably need to see what the bench looks like. It's a great offer, but I think we need to continue to work with the donor to find an agreeable spot.
So do we not have a template or some sort of policy in place that governs this type of request? I always thought we did. I
Trees.
thought just for trees only. There's nothing to do with benches at this point in time or any sort of other chattels within the municipality?
There was a policy for donations when the park was retrofitted, and many people donated, and there are naming plaques on the benches. But
Yes,
it was the
we
town
purchased
design. Yeah.
at that time we purchased the bench, and then you were able to designate or donate that bench to a loved one. So your recommendation is to have staff reach out to find some more details, bring it back to council for further discussion. Is that what I hear?
I think so. Yes.
Okay, so that's the deputy mayor's motion. Do I have a seconder for that motion? It's
Your
a fact-
Honor, if I could just chime in?
Yeah, absolutely. So can you, hey, Councillor Smith, can you second it and then chime in?
Yeah, okay, I'll second it.
Okay, thanks. So you've seconded it. Now you have the floor to speak.
Okay, this young lad is very well known with a lot of the younger lads that fish in this town. He has taught them not only ice safety, but awareness, and I believe at one time, maybe even a little bit of first aid.
Thank you.
I
Councilor.
have
That's
a fact
helpful.
on that.
Okay, thank you very much. So you're in agreement then, Councillor Smith, with respects to having the staff reach out to this individual, find a little bit more detail and bring it back to council for further discussion?
Yes, I would be.
Thank you. Any other discussion? I would say, and as well, we're gonna have to look at a policy for these things moving forward, because I'm sure other municipalities have these type of policies, or we have a policy in place, and that is what it is. So right now, as it sits, the motion is to do some more investigation, bring it back to council. We have a mover and the deputy. We have a seconder with Councillor Smith. We've had some discussion. Any objection? Oh, yeah, deputy?
Maybe also as guidance to staff, perhaps offer, we currently purchase a certain type of bench. If you would like to donate something similar, we can accommodate. But the idea of maybe a granite bench in the park, it does change the tone of the park a little bit.
That's very fair. You let them know what our current I guess practices have been. In addition, my fear would be the ongoing maintenance of such a thing. Like how are those details worked out? I'm sure that they can be worked out. I see it, Councillor Hudson, just one sec. I see that, I bet you that they can be worked out. It's just something I think we need to consider too, is to make sure that if we do accept a memorial bench, that we understand what are we accepting. Thank you. Councillor Hudson.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your thought,
No.
Mayor. I know some other communities, like my grandfather's community and their town council, just something that he's mentioned to me before, is they have done a memorial project in their park where they do kind of plaques on the sidewalk and different things like that. So I think if we do a larger conversation, I think as an overall policy for requests like this, we could look into some sort of municipal project that could be supportive of that kind of concept.
I think that'd be could almost even fall into our committee structure as a discussion for our recreation.
I agree.
Oh, sorry, for the revitalization committee that's possible. So great point, something that we could probably bring up in further discussions. Absolutely. Thank you very much. So we have a mover, we have a seconder. The motion is that we're gonna reach out and we're gonna get some more details. We're gonna let the person know what we currently do, what our current practice have been, and we're gonna go from there. So any further discussion?
Your Honor,
Councillor Smith.
I actually know of one of these benches that was placed locally here, and it was placed probably about 10 years ago for a local longtime resident of Deserano. It sits very close to the shoreline, and there has been no wear and tear on it.
Very nice. That's good. That's good to know. So once we've decided how we're going to move forward with this thing, we'll be able to get all those comments, and we'll figure out what the durability is and all that. I'm very familiar with this bench too. I run through one at the cemetery too for another young gentleman. They definitely are rugged. So with that being said, any further discussion? Carried. Thank you. We have correspondence requiring no action, items 12.1 through to 12.3, pages 219 through to 253. I'll take a motion to accept them all. Thank you. Motion to receive by Councillor Hudson. May I have a seconder, please?
Second that, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Councillor Clark. Any objection? I'm hearing none. Carried. Thank you. Under new business, we have committee structure proposal. So I'm just going to bring up the documents that the CAO sent to us yesterday. As I disclosed at the last council meeting, the CAO and I were going to have a discussion with respect to how to implement these committee structures. We had a long discussion with respects to the committee structures and the opinions of the CAO with respects to moving forward with the committee structure. Those opinions are expressed tonight in this documentation. May I get a motion, please, to get on the table for discussion?
Your Honor,
Yeah, okay, so Councillor Clark, are you putting it on the table for discussion?
I would put it on the table for discussion.
Thank you very much. And Deputy Mayor, you're going to second that?
I will, thank you.
Thank you very much. It is on the table for discussion. So Councillor Clark, would you like to comment?
I don't have too much to comment on. I agree with most of the things in it. I just got a couple of questions that maybe you or Dean could answer, and it's regarding the nominating committee. Who is the nominating committee made up of? And also my second part of that is, if these committees ever go into closed session and there are civilians or citizens on the committee, do those citizens then sit in on the closed session of the committee? And that's basically my two questions about the whole thing.
Sure, I can answer that. So the intent of this would be, this is a council committee, Councillor Clark. There are no members of the community that are going to be sitting on this. Obviously, just like any other meeting, these meetings will be public, and the public are more than welcome to join and listen to these meetings. However, these are extensions of council, and these will be consisting of council members. So no members from the community will be on that.
Thank you. That's about all I have. As I say, I'm quite in agreement with the rest of it.
So with that being said, the next step would be to the CEO brought up that possibly maybe a committee of the whole structure would be better utilizing our time and our resources staff wise. I disagree. I really do. I understand where he's coming from, but from a council perspective, I'm acting on behalf of council. With when I brought this forward, council had talked to me over the last 2 years saying that they'd like to get more integrated, more in the know. They'd like the ability to have more of a voice to accomplish the goals and their opinions. I believe that these these committee structures will achieve that goal. So with that being said, is it still council's intent that we're moving forward with the committee structure?
Mayor?
Deputy? Yeah.
I think you know the proposal made a few months ago was very solid from what we're trying to achieve. I honestly do see the need though for resources, and maybe tonight we can ask the CAO to put what she thinks she needs to implement the decision of council made at the previous meeting for our next budget meeting. We need to resource the committees in order for them to be effective. We can't burn staff out. So I think we really should see what it's going to cost and make allocations accordingly. I think there's so much benefit from what was proposed that it's worth the time and effort and the money that it's going to be in. I'm not looking forward to any more meetings, but I am looking forward to meetings that are going to be really productive and moving the agenda forward. So I think everyone's agreed and signed up for the extra work on council. I think we see that there's going to be value. We have 2 years to push a lot of things along. And I think a committee of the whole structure would be too awkward and cumbersome. I think these are nimbler and more focused. And I think the meetings will be shorter. I know for one right now, I'm able to get out of work right at the bell because of COVID-19. I could be available for 4 o'clock meetings. I'm available most evenings. I can rearrange things for council. I have in the past. I know others are willing to. And I can see that this be maybe for staff efficiency. We book the operations sort of committee and the community committee the same night, time meetings, hour each, get them done.
Yeah.
There are ways to work around.
Absolutely. I do agree too. I think this council, I think the 2021 budget focus has always been based on doing some restructuring, on tidying up some loose ends. We know that that's what these committees are going to do. And if it requires some sort of part-time resource to assist us, to assist the CAO and the staff, so council can have their wishes performed, I would say that I would totally recommend and support the CAO come back to us at our next budget meeting with an outline of budgetary impact as well as a job description of what this person would be doing for the community in addition to chairing 2 one-hour meetings a month. So I would agree. So is there a motion, and sorry, Councillor Clark, I didn't fully answer your question with respect to the nomination of the appointees. So how it would happen is the 3 members that are appointed to the committee, they will then choose their chair. And that's pretty much it. So the assignment of who's on the committee will be as outlined in previous correspondence, and the chairperson will be then chosen by the committee at that point in time at its inaugural meeting. So I hope that helps provide a little bit of clarification from what I didn't provide in the last statement.
That does, Your Honour. Thank you. And I would just like to say I agree with Deputy Mayor and yourself. I think Christine should come back to council and tell council what she needs to make these committees a success. Because the one thing we don't want to do is overburden our staff, because in a lot of ways they're overburdened right now. So I think it's important that Christine comes back to us and tell us exactly what she thinks that she's going to need to make these committees successful.
Absolutely. And I think that this resource will help us to figure out exactly where the burdens lie as well. So we can help address some of those shortcomings as well. So that's perfect. So with that being said, can I have a motion, please, to instruct the CAO to proceed with the committee structure as outlined from the January 27th documentation presented by myself to council, as well as to come back with costing, as well as a job description. Doesn't have to go full detail yet until it becomes policy, but an outline of what will be the overall duties of this resource. Thank you. May I have that as a motion from somebody?
I would make that motion.
Okay, well, Councillor Clark, the deputy mayor threw his hand up. I'll take him, but I'll take you as a close second. So I got a mover in the deputy. I have a seconder in Councillor Clark. Any further discussion required? I'm hearing none. Excellent. Thank you very much, Council. I hope everyone enjoys the committee structure, and this is something that we can review in 2022 to make sure that it was successful and what we were really able to achieve. No notices of motion tonight. Going around the table. Anyone have any announcements? I'll start with, who's looking at me? Deputy Mayor, you're looking at me.
Thank you so much, Mayor. Well, it's been a very interesting week in Deseronto. I think before the meeting, we all sent our congratulations to the Clark family, but those are certainly due, especially to Ryland himself, who's earned 2 Juno nominations. And I know we have a very proud grandfather sitting here at the table. And, I'm so pleased for the Clarks. This is excellent news for you, your family. I also would like to, again, reiterate the fact that the 60 to 64 vaccine clinics are taking appointments as they speak. Any resident at this point that has an ability to get in and get a vaccine through a process, there's the provincial rollout, there's other rollouts going along. Please do. The COVID-19 pandemic hit Deseronto the last couple of weeks. I also want to congratulate and thank the families affected for being so transparent and vocal about their situation. It removed a lot of stigma, but Deseronto is resilient. We're getting people vaccinated, and it is coming to the end. So we all have a few more months of this. Let's keep it up.
Thank you very much, sir. Councillor Hudson, you're looking at me.
I would echo the sentiments of the deputy mayor to the family of Ryland James. It's so exciting for a hometown Deserontian to be nominated for some Junos. So sending that out. Also just recognizing International Women's Day, which was on Monday this week. And as always, I'm an advocate for our Girl Guides here in town. And we participated in a secret 3K run. So we could run in public for the girls and women around the world who can't run in public. So
nice.
We enjoyed exploring the community, and they really enjoyed hanging out in front of Town Hall. So that was a great night. So International Women's Day, and celebrating those in Deseronto like Ryland James who are killing it, and everybody stay safe for COVID.
Thank you very much. Councillor Smith.
I'd just like to chime in like everybody else and congratulate the whole Clark family.
Thank you very much, sir. Well, Councillor Clark, any comments?
Well, you know where he got his voice from, don't you?
His grandmother.
So,
I agree, Mayor.
I'll certainly pass on the comments of council tonight, and he is a proud young man, and I'll let council know. And I've been to quite a few of his concerts, and he's not ashamed or afraid to mention that he's from the town of Deseronto. In fact, he's really proud to let people know that he comes from a small town in Deseronto. So I'll let them know your comments. The other comment I've got to make is I saw yesterday, I think it was reading the dates for the vaccinations and so on and the ages. I would encourage all of us and the people that you know to get those vaccinations as soon as you can, because from all reports, this isn't over and it's not going to be over for a while. But if we can get the vaccinations and get it started, then hopefully we'll return to some normality. But I encourage all of you to do that and to take care of yourself and to take care of others that you can take care of as well. But once again, I thank you for your comments about Ryland, and I'll pass them on to him.
Thank you very much. A couple of points from me. One is we're all aware that we are opening up more as a province, and COVID vaccinations are rolling out. I just ask that people continue to be as safe as they can while respecting the rules and the guidelines that have been put by the province. They're there for a reason. In addition, I think we need to throw something on our social media with respect to the young gentleman, Ryland Clark, and our appreciation and our congratulations. So I would ask that the staff please hook up with a representative for Mr. Clark and put a shout out on behalf of the municipality of the town of Deseron that we are proud to see a Deseron youth do well, and to show that doesn't matter if you come from a from a town that's 2.5 square kilometers, 800 houses and 1,700 people, you can make a global impact. So I would ask that staff please engage a representative for Mr. Clark, and let's give him a big shout out on behalf of this community. He deserves it. Thank you. Moving on, I would like to have, well, we have we'll have 4 bylaws, but we have 3 under bylaws. So we have bylaw United Way funding agreement for transit 23-21, page 254, council's wishes. Deputy, you gonna do it?
Thank you. I gladly read bylaw 2321. The bylaw to enter into an investment agreement with the United Way for Hastings and Prince Edward for the funding of the Deseron transit system. And I move that be read a first, second, third time.
Thank you very much. Seconder for that.
I would second that.
Thank you very much, Councillor Clark. Any objection? Hearing none. Carried. Next one, Deputy. This is a safe restart transfer payment agreement for transit.
Gotta love transfer payments. So bylaw 2421 being a bylaw to enter into an agreement with Her Majesty the Queen in the right of the province of Ontario, represented by the Minister of Transportation for the province of Ontario, for federal funding to the municipality for the municipal transit safe restart agreement phase 2. And I move that be read a first, second, and third time, and hopefully I'll never have to read one that long again.
I'll take it. Do I have a seconder? I've got it with Councillor Hudson. Thank you very much, though, Councillor Smith. Any objection? None. Carried. Thank you. Last one, bylaw 25-21, execution of agreement for the town and the BESB, pages 256 through to 257. We'll recall that we did have some discussion during CAO report number 1.
And Mayor, Murphy's Law here. That's a longer one than the last one. So
it is,
bylaw 2521 being a bylaw to approve and authorize the execution of the agreement between the corporation of the town of Deseronto, the corporation of the township of Madoc, the corporation of the township of Sterling Rawdon, the corporation of the municipality of Tweed, and the corporation of the township of Tyndonega for the shared services of a bylaw enforcement officer. I move that be read a first, second, and third time.
I'd second that, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Councillor Clark. Any objection? I'm hearing none. Carried. Excellent. Bylaw to confirm the proceeding of council. Bylaw 26-21, page 258. Deputy.
I move bylaw 2621, a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the council meeting held on the 10th day of March 2021, be read a first, second, and third time and pass this day, the 10th of March.
I will take that, but I got to go back 1 second. Christine or Gail, did I get a motion to confirm the proceedings of in camera session to move forward with the resolutions therein? Did I take one of those?
No, I don't believe you did.
May I call one now, please?
I would so move, Your Honor.
Okay, I've got a motion. I've got a seconder and Councillor Hudson. Any objection? Carried. Thank you. I just needed to clean that up before we moved on. Thank you very much. As far as the bylaw goes, may I have a seconder, please, for the confirming bylaw? I think, or did I get it? Okay, I got it, Councillor Hudson.
And may I say, through you to
Sure, you can. You're very excited about it.
can Can I, one of these evenings, announce the bylaw to confirm the proceedings? The
Oh, I'd
deputy
love
mayor
you to do that.
always has the
Absolutely.
privilege. I would
Absolutely.
love to read one of the bylaws.
Sure thing. No
I
problem.
will defer that job to you from now on.
So it's your job for now. How's that? So for
You're
2021,
Captain Confirmer.
Hudson reads the confirming. Okay,
And
so
I'll second it.
thank you very much. So we have a motion that moving forward, Councillor Hudson is going to read every confirming bylaw for the year. Seconded by Councillor Smith. Okay, we're just being silly. We'll
Yes.
remember that next time. Okay, so we have a mover and a seconder. No objection. Carried. Great. Thank you very much. Hey, do you want to start with the adjournment motion, Councillor Hudson?
Oh,
Point of order. Can we throw a bylaw in since we're being goofy to make sure that the town of Deserano recognizes Norm Clark's beautiful singing voice? Because he was
Yes,
really
we
hard on himself there, and I was a little upset.
Oh,
Your
that's-
voice is really melodic, Norm. It's very calming. It's a good voice.
David Attenborough. He's-
Right there.
He's going to take over for him. Okay, so, all kidding aside, I have a motion for adjournment.
motion for adjournment.
Awesome. May I have a seconder, please?
Counselor Smith.
Thank you very much, Councillor Smith. I'll take it. Everyone have yourself a great night. And thank you, staff. Thank you, council. Thank you, community.